Breaking news, oh my wonderful Biafran people, the lovers of Biafran freedom, will make on hear this one when they happen this early morning. Supreme Court subverting justice in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's appeal, according to IPOP spokesperson Iman Powerful. And he carried this John Bode. Come this morning, come they let the general public know what is happening in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because next month is supposed to be the date where they go set Mazi Nnamdi Kanu free. But as it stands now, these people are trying to subvert every justice to free that young man in DSS dungeon. Anyway, that one is the story where we go chook matter this afternoon, I mean this morning. Anyhow, it takes here. But before that, I beg you, help me to click that subscription button, like, comment, and of them all. Remember to share this message to Sarah Mozia. Let every Tom and Jerry in the southeastern region, whether you are locally or internationally, are you in Ofesi or you are in the diaspora, my dear, this message is for every Biafran in the house. Even if you are non-Biafran, help me to do what? To share this message so that they will see the impunity and the coup that the Fulani control government of Nigeria is doing against the Biafran Republic and their leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because this one is complete original coup. Not only when they use gun or whatever to chase somebody out of office, that you will remember and say that those people have committed a coup or they have kicked against the democracy. But I wonder, in a country that claims to have a human right and a fighting and the practicing democracy, now have no any single respect or whatsoever to the rule of law. That is absurd, and it is what? It is unacceptable in this 21st century that somebody is being held beyond his, that's stamping upon his own fundamental human rights, simply because you feel that you have the power, forgetting that power is transient. You will have it today, tomorrow you will become X. Just like, and that is the reason why all these our so-called old fools in the government house refuse to give up. Because they don't want to be known as X. They want to continue controlling the power, and as such, using the commonwealth of the people to enrich their personal pockets. Anyway, my wonderful people, I want you to take just 1 minute of your time, listen to me attentively, and bring your ear close, so that we are going to digest this matter to the understanding of a layman. So the language I'm using is a very popular language that even a deaf and dumb will understand me. So my wonderful people, the Biafrans in the house, let us go straight to the listen while we are here. This one is IPOP press release, published on the Biafran Post, and it's being delivered to you by Amanda Neze from the platform of Ukute Daily Talk. We, the global family and the movement of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, ably led by the great and indefatigable liberator Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, condemned the continuous adjournment of our leader's case by the so-called Supreme Court of the Fulani control government of Nigeria in their efforts for our leader to remain in the DSS solitary confinement in Abuja. In another line, it is with the greatest disappointment and bewilderment that we received from our leader's lead counsel, Professor Mike Ozeko-Mesan, the shocking news of the cancellation of the date earlier scheduled for the hearing of our leader's appeal before the so-called Supreme Court. The afterthought and the flimsy reasons being that the 14th of September 2023, earlier scheduled for the hearing of the case, and also has caught up with the Supreme Court's annual vacation. To say the least, this is the worst form of travesty of justice and violent destruction of the rule of law at its epic. If we may ask, was it not in an open court that the justice of the Supreme Court that sat on the appeal on the 11th day of May 2023 adjourned the matter to the 14th day of September 2023 after how many months gap? It is also to our understanding that the 14th day of September 2023 adjournment was not granted as a matter of course. The adjournment date was carefully considered against the background of the Fulani government of Nigeria deliberate plot or ploy to thwart the proceedings of that day by applying for time to file their papers even when they were clearly out of time, and the appeal was consequently adjourned to the 14th day of September 2023 for definite hearing. Let me pause here and lay my own view on this particular issue. You see, the truth need to be told. There's no need keeping quiet. The simple truth here is that the so-called Fulani control government of Nigeria have no any single reason again to hold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Why they are keep on adjourning all these cases, and the other is just trying to look for a loophole so that they can say, oh, we have found something incriminating on the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Just exactly what they did to Emefiele. As it stands now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being held beyond what he's supposed to be. He's being held simply because of where he came from. He's being held simply because he is an Igbo. He's being held simply because he come out to say enough is enough of the marginalization that have been going on for years in this contraption called Nigeria. They are holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, adjourning the cases simply because they don't have any other charges to file against him. All the whole charges have been finished from their mouth. Maybe they are looking for a new lawyer. Okay, now they have a new Attorney General of the Federation, all in the name of Fagbemi. Maybe he will come out with his own lies, and then we will know that this is definitely going to be between the Yorubas and the Igbos, because the Hausas have done their own and depart. Now it is left for the Yoruba to decide either he wants to be in peace with the Igbos or in pieces with the Igbos. I am not inciting anybody into violence, but I'm trying to state the obvious, what is happening in this contraption called Nigeria. Sometimes I don't blame anybody that come out and say this country is a zoo, because it's just turned like a banana republic whereby any miscreant will come out from nowhere and make his own laws and people will begin to obey. Look at what Asari Dokbo is doing. Imagine Nigeria as a country. They call them giant of Africa for mouth. Look at Asari Dokbo have threatened a sitting governor of Rivers State, Fubara, that if he does him that Rivers State will, that is Boko Haram or whatever it's called that happened in the north, will be a child's play. What he will, that the kind of mayhem he will unleash in that very particular Port Harcourt. The federal government say it. The video is on everywhere. The video is, it have gone viral. Even every nooks and crannies, including the whole wide world, are seeing the video, watching it, commenting. But the federal government do what? They shut to deaf ears. He came out and said, I have organized 30 miscreants, militants. They are miscreants and militants at the same time. That these ones are the one that's going to fight for Aswadi. If anybody dies at Aswadi, if anybody don't want Aswadi to succeed, that they will deal with him and they will collect woto. Federal government, so they deaf ear to it. He fell out again and said that he have a private military company which he have been working with Nigerian military and the rest of other security apparatus. That's the only one that the military come out and debunked the rumor and said nothing of sort, that they have not been working with Asari Dokubo. Then what do you do to somebody who brandishes AK-47? An assault rifle, a military assault rifle, on a social media, brandishing it and they claiming that he has been selling the Igbos as a slave trade, if not for the intervention of the UK and the so-called their allies. The federal government hears all this and they keep calm. What do you expect? What do you expect from a country that the MNK, even when the case went to court, that the so-called president of the All Poverty Congress, APC, forfeited the $460,000 before the United States government, that money is made from narcotics and other hard drugs business or money launderings. The case went to court in Abuja. It was after the election and sworn in that the so-called Mahmoud Yakubu, the INEC chairman, came out and said they are not aware that there is such a case that is going on before the election. And I look at the whole situation and I laugh. I said, this country have finally turned to the Banana Republic, whereby there's no any single laws that is working. Anyway, let us continue with our news. I don't want to take much of your time. If the present intention of the Apex Court is not a rape of democracy and a clear subversion of the cause of justice, how could they have adjourned to the 14th day of September 2023 without being guided by their diary or calendar, which contains the entire schedules of the activities and holidays of the Supreme Court for the entire calendar year? They know what they're doing, and I said it earlier. They have nothing against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu again. They are just trying to keep that young man in perpetual hostage, because that one is now his hostage. One, they kidnapped him from Kenya. They extraordinarily rendition him to Nigeria without no proper documentation. When the US demand for them to repatriate, what they call it, either repatriation, okay, yeah, repatriate Kyari, when he was indicted by Hush Puppy, what did they do? They went and they concurred with a video and said, oh, look at Kyari now is a drug dealer. He did with this, he did with that, and they arrested him. The next one, they brought him to court. Now the other day, they granted him 50 million bail for him to pay 50 million and go back to his house. But you have the right and the audacity, the nerve, to went all the way from Nigeria to Kenya to abduct, with the help of Kenya officials at the airport, and abduct a citizen of UK. Well, I don't blame you people. I have to blame that so-called UK, that nonsense country called Britain. Till today, they have not done anything about it, simply because he happens to be a black man. If you cannot protect the image of somebody you gave your passport, then why giving him the citizenship? It's better you tell him that you cannot. As simple as that. Because we cannot protect you if anything happens to you. May we therefore invite the Supreme Court to note all these things as follows. Please read with me and listen attentively. Do share it to your family and friends. To start with, the world and indeed the members of the public are to note that the stay of execution in a criminal trial is both criminal and unconstitutional. It is tantamount to the destruction of the tenets of criminal law jurisprudence, because it is not supported by any judicial authority or extant laws of criminal practice direction of the Court of Appeal. That is number one. Number two, what the federal government of Nigeria did was to procure a panel of the most corrupt judicial officers in the Court of Appeal to sit on an unprecedented appeal against the decision of the same court, and the criminal venture was perfected and carefully executed. Hence, our leader is today still being illegally and unconstitutionally confined to solitary confinement at the SSS dungeon in Abuja due to the illegal order of the judicial putscherists. Number two, contrary to the widespread misinformation, our leader is being detained without a charge pending against him in any court of law. Which is against the law and the concern of Fulani Control Government of Nigeria by the authority of the judgment of the Court of Appeal delivered on the 13th day of October 2022. The 7-count charge that was pending against our leader before he approached the intermediate court was buried in its entity, having been discharged and effectively forbidden from being persecuted again in any court in Nigeria on any indictment or offense of any nature. Number three on our list here, the style of successive adjournment basically at the instance of the federal government of Nigeria is to justify the illegal detention of our leader, which is clearly an abuse of judicial processes. Then number four, our leader has been in detention for 1 year since he was discharged by the Court of Appeal. Yet, the government that appealed the decision discharging our leader is not interested in prosecuting the matter because they are aware that they will still lose at the Supreme Court. The number five in our list here, it is highly unfortunate that an apex court operating within the ambit of constitutional democracy will support the emasculation of their own laws just to spite one man and what he represents. Number six, the cancellation of this date on the frivolous ground that the scheduled date is caught up with the apex court annual vacation is against Supreme Court's own rules governing criminal trials that are subject as a related hearing. It is to be observed that the unfolding events go to demonstrate that the Supreme Court of Nigeria is not abiding with their own rules by constantly adjourning the case of our leader. In that case, we therefore call unresponsible foreign government institutions, where are they? They are nowhere to be found. And international communities to immediately prevail on the Supreme Court of Nigeria to hear our leaders' appeal so that this case will be promptly determined. How can you justify in law and the fact that an innocent man who was discharged and acquitted by the Nigerian Court of Appeal since the 13th day of October 2022 and freed of any wrongdoings is still today being held in solitary confinement without any order of court or law backing up the illegal and unconstitutional violation of his fundamental human rights? It is indeed a grave subversion of the cause of justice by the highest court in the land in their clandestine connivance with the Fulani government of Nigeria. If the federal government of Nigeria is no longer interested in prosecuting their appeal, our leader should be immediately released in line with the order of the penultimate court made on the 13th day of October 2022. This message is being brought to you by Comrade Emma Powerful, Media and Publicity Secretary for IPOB. Federal Capital Territory, according to Nyesom Wike, he vows to stop open grazing in the capital city of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. Newly inaugurated Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has said he would consult with stakeholders to stop open grazing in the nation's capital city. He said the herdsmen can rear their cattle outside the city, but will no longer be allowed to graze on the grasses used for the beautification of the city. The immediate past Rivers State governor spoke while assuming office as Federal Capital Territory Minister in Abuja yesterday being Monday. He said, "We will consult with the herdsmen to see how we will stop open grazing because we cannot allow cows inside the city. They can be outside the city because the grasses are outside the city. The grasses in city were planted to beautify the city. It is not that they would eat. So we will discuss. Let us say it. If you are playing inside or flying inside the presidential villa, for example, and you see about 20,000 to 40,000 goats, if foreigners see that, how would they feel?" Wike also vowed to crack down on illegal markets in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. "We are not going to tolerate the issue of everywhere is market. Yes, I know that things are difficult, but that doesn't mean you should cause crisis for other people. You are looking for what to put in your stomach. It must be done within the framework of the law." According to Nyesom Wike, in a city, people are selling with umbrellas under the trees. Those things cause insecurity. We cannot allow it. Madam Nasri El-Rufai have did his own. Now it's your own turn to turn things around and to make the most out of it, or risk yourself being blamed at the end of it all. So, my wonderful people, we still have another interesting news here, but we're going to leave it for another day. I try to make this news as brief as possible so that every Okeke and Okafu will listen to it at least from the beginning to the end, because long videos is somehow very difficult for people to listen to and share. Sometimes they get angry that why must I be making a long video, so I'm trying to make it to the understanding of every Tom and Jerry that is working me. But I'm not calling you Tom and Jerry, but I'm just using that as a paraphrase. So my wonderful people, now here we go take back break you, and I'm packing my car. I go ahead to go. So if you never subscribe to my channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Do that anytime soon. Share this message to Sarah Mozia. Let it go viral. Let it every day can hurry. Anyone that knows what it takes to produce what this, at least will help me to share it to your family and friends, to your well-wishers, and also your colleagues in the office, so that this message will get to where it's supposed to get. Martin Nnamdi Kanu really need his freedom, because as it stands now, there's no any what will I call it? There's no any charges that hanging on his neck or whatsoever. So do this, and I will so do what? Bless you when the time is right. Bye for now, my wonderful people. Do not forget, I still remain your one and only Okute Daily Talk, taken from the platform. You know how it be now. So my wonderful people, they're gonna enjoy this day. I'm coming back again with another blockbuster. May the good Lord bless any hand that type amen or share this message, and so shall it be. Father, to the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Bye for now. Kemesiano.